Hey, welcome back to Mocktails with Marina. I'm your host, Marina, and this week we are doing a resource drop. Not to say, that we're throwing shade at any of our other episodes, that they're not resources, but over the next few weeks here, we're going to talk about 3 new resources that we have been working very hard behind the scenes on, per your feedback on some of the things that might be very helpful for you. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about what it takes to really get a good jump start. You know what nobody really prepares you for when you decide to step into the non-alcoholic space? It's not the product development or the spreadsheets or the branding work. It's the moment that you say yes to the idea and realize that you're now walking a road that barely exists, at least at this point. You're stepping into an industry that's still being built while you build yourself. The rules are not yet clear. There are very few mentors, and most people still ask, wait, why not just sell alcohol? If you felt that, welcome. You are not alone. This path is definitely not for the faint of heart. It takes vision, courage, and a deep commitment to creating something that didn't exist before. But it also takes tools, direction, clarity. Not the kind that you get from hours of scrolling Google or bookmarking random Instagram posts hoping that you'll eventually figure it out. I wanted to open today's episode with that because I think that we don't talk about that enough. This moment where you've decided, and now the real work begins. That's what this episode is about. Not just the resource that I'm sharing with you, but the reason that I made it. The real stakes, the story behind the structure, and why something as small as $77 can unlock something that no amount of passive scrolling ever will. So let's get into it and start to understand truly what is the value of figuring this out. So when I first started consulting in the non-alc space, I thought that most people would come to my husband and I asking us about strategy, like marketing funnels, menu pricing, supply chain, logistics, and sure, we absolutely get those questions all the time. But underneath all of them, it's a quiet kind of panic. There's a sense of, I'm passionate, but I don't know what to do next. I want this so badly, but I feel like I'm making it up as I go. I know what I want to build, but I don't feel legit. And over time, I realized that this wasn't a fluke. This was the pattern. And not because these people weren't smart. If anything, they were hyper aware. They didn't just have a roadmap, that's all. Because the thing is, there isn't one, not a real one anyways, not one that's specific to this industry, not one that acknowledges things like ingredient sourcing for functional beverages, or how to market when Meta restricts all of your ad content, or how to price your drink when the co-packer wants 5,000 units to start. So I started building systems I wish that they'd had. Step by step, repeatable processes, templates, calculators, outreach scripts, funding guides, everything I kept repeating on private calls, condensed and streamlined into one singular place. I didn't set out to make a product, I set out to solve a recurring problem. And when I realized how many people were sitting on dreams because they didn't know how to make the first few moves, the Jumpstart Kit was born. So let me tell you who we really made this for. I think that we made this for the person whose note app is filled with ideas. There's a bunch of drink ideas there. There's maybe some half-baked taglines, screenshots of logos, but they haven't told anyone yet because they're afraid they're going to sound crazy, right? So we made this for the person who keeps saying, I'll start once I have more time, or I'll start once I get more funding. But deep down, they just know that clarity would give them more momentum now than anything. We made this for the former bartender, the retired wellness coach, the sober curious parent, The product nerd, the flavor visionary, the person who just knows in their gut that this industry is about to pop and they don't want to be left behind. We made it because we need more good businesses in this space, not just pretty brands or hypey influencers, but founders who know their worth, who are prepared, who are rooted in clarity. And we wanted to make it accessible. Not everyone is ready to drop $3,000 on a consultant. Not everyone needs a full mentorship or some sort of program to start. Sometimes you just need one good toolkit that reminds you that, hey, you are not crazy, you are just early, and here's how you start. That's what the Jumpstart Kit is. It's not a course, it's not a pitch fest, it's not a set of overwhelming PDFs that collect dust. It is a launch pad, and we made it for you. Now, let's rewind for a second to how this all started for me originally. And it was that I had always previously walked between two different worlds, my science daytime lab job and my nightlife career once the sun went down. I studied theoretical math and worked in a chemistry lab, for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time. And I also performed in clubs and helped run a kava bar that felt more like a sacred space than a business. I didn't take a traditional path, and I never had a trust fund, a rich mentor, or a business plan that made investors drool back in the day, right? Like, what I had was initially a passion for ingredients, a desire to create spaces that feel safe and alive, and a notebook full of maybe one day ideas. But eventually I realized that I didn't want to just work in these businesses. I wanted to help build them. But when I looked around, there was no how-to guides for this, no plug-and-play systems for someone like me. Everything felt either way too basic or way too complex and expensive. So I built it myself, and I built it alongside my husband, and not overnight, but slowly, by working with real founders, real products, and real bars and shops across the country. This kit is the distillation of all of that, all of the messy learning, all the hard conversations, all of the wins, and all of the mistakes. I'm giving you the version I wish I had, because I believe in this industry, and I believe you deserve to start strong. Now, let me tell you exactly what you're getting, because this isn't a fluff offer. The Non-Alc Business Jumpstart Kit includes a step-by-step business roadmap built specifically for non-alc bar, bottle shop, and product founders. This includes templates that basically are there to help you do your market research and validate your niche so that you don't build the wrong thing for the wrong people. It also includes cost and pricing calculators in order to understand ingredient margins and set smart retail pricing. There's also some supplier outreach templates so that you don't waste hours wondering how to sound professional. There's a mini guide to funding and grants, because not everyone can self-fund, and a 15-minute video walkthrough of me tying everything together and helping you prioritize. So again, it's only $77, and we didn't make this to gatekeep. We wanted to make it to open the gates, right? Because our normal programs for really getting this started, does start at $9.97 and beyond. So we wanted to make something that was accessible, but also provided an opportunity for you to actually invest in yourself, something that makes you make a decision. It makes you act differently, right? So this kit is worth well over $288 in real world value, probably way more if you count the time and sanity that it's going to save you. But I wanted to make it a no-brainer when we put it on the market. So if you're serious about launching something this year, this is definitely your first step. You do not need the full course yet. You don't need a full, huge investor deck to make the first step. You just need a system that helps you make moves and make movement on this vision. And that's exactly what this is. Look, I know what it feels like to sit on a big idea for way too long, to wait for clarity, to wait for confidence, to wait for someone to tell you, hey, this is worth doing. So let this be that moment. you are not too late. You are not too unqualified. You're not too anything. What you are is ready to stop guessing. And that alone sets you apart. The non-alc space is not only going to keep growing, but it's going to continue to grow faster and faster. And the ones who win are the ones who start now, right? Because then you're going to have more momentum. So those who start now with intention, with structure, and with support are going to ride that wave. Again, the Jumpstart Kit is absolutely your launch pad to get that going. So if you are feeling the call, follow it. The link is in the show notes, so you can take a look at the episode description, or you can go ahead and head over to marinamars.com/contact, fill out the little form, tell me what's on your mind, what you're working on, and I will help connect you with absolutely the right resources and make sure that this is the right thing for you. Because if you actually tell me something that I think that this kit is not going to help you, then I'm going to tell you, no, don't buy it. It's going to be a waste of your time and money, right? I want to make sure that we are pairing this kit with the right people at the right time when they need it. So I will see you on the inside, and when your bar, bottle shop, or brand opens its doors, I'll be the first to raise a glass in your honor. So let's build the future one smart move at a time. As always, if you need anything, send me an email, hello@marinamars.com, and I would absolutely love to have a conversation with you. So as always, if you need anything, just let me know.